Just put this rod under the tree on that gravel shelf. It's only been out there about 20 minutes and the tip absolutely ripped round. No idea how big it is, but it's a fish. And I managed to keep it off that weed bed just in front of me, so fingers crossed. It's quite weedy just down here in the margins, so just try and keep it moving. Landing that down. It was on a tiny, tiny little hook bait. And a 3-ounce inline pair fish with a lead drop-off style, a little short hook link. And on that really clear gravel, just literally a rod length and a half down this margin, so real close range stuff. I didn't see the bite, I was sitting back on my hands trying to be patient. I see a few bubbles coming up and bits of stuff, so I thought there's definitely fish about. It's fantastic, this crystal clear blue pool water is absolutely brilliant. Well, it makes the fight a bit hairy because you can see the fish on. Just try and keep it up out of this weed. Whoa. The margins of the blue pool are a little bit snaggy. There's a few old branches and stuff, and there's zebra mussels in this water as well, so quite interesting little characters, but they're really sharp, and what we don't want is the fish kiting off down the margin and cutting us off on the zebras. Just keep the pressure on, and he's coming up. Got no idea what it is at all at this stage. A little ping there as the line come off the back of his dorsal. Come on, he's giving up a good account of himself. Just see a little flash of yellow there. Okay, powerful fish. So I've seen it now, it's a mirror. It's really kicking hard. It's powered off down this margin, as I said earlier, towards the weed. Really keen to get in there. Very, very important in this weedy water to have drop-off leads. I'm a great advocate of those. It's made a big difference to my own fishing. So you want rid of the lead as soon as you've hooked the fish. Don't want a lead in there. And important to concentrate, keep the rod up, try and keep it up above the weed. You'd be surprised how much power you can put on a fish, keep it up above the weed. It's better to put on a bit of extra pressure than let it get its head right down in the weeds. It's powering down. This water in the blue pool's really clear, and it seems to hold a lot of oxygen. And at this time of the day with the sun out, it's been bright, the plants have been photosynthesizing away, producing loads and loads of oxygen, and so the water's well concentrated with oxygen, with lots in there. It's probably super saturated with oxygen at this time of the day, and that means the fish can get a lot of energy. There he goes again. Nice mirror. Yes! First fish of the trip. I am pleased with that one. Always a real relief to get one. Nice mirror. Looks like a mid to upper double. Lovely fish. Pleased with that. Well, here he is, Adam. What a smashing blue pool carp.
Mate, I'm well chuffed for you. That is exactly what we came for, isn't it?
Look at the colour, it's black.
It's dark, isn't he?
Yeah, Mr. Angry, but definitely a male fish. He really scrapped
Right,
on. Okay, so the rig really worked.
It was nailed, wasn't
yeah,
it?
definitely.
Yeah,
Eating that little hook bait and a size 8, that worked a treat. Anyway.
So you had a few fish coming in?
1 or 2, yeah.
Right, rod on the ground, Simon Scott
yeah,
style.
Proper fishing, yeah.
Well done,
pleased with
mate.
that. So I'll
That's
get this one back.
Okay, well I've got a couple of fish visiting my spot, so I'm going to put a rig in. My rig's similar to Simon's, a little bit different. I'll show you what I'm using next. Okay, now as we know, these blue pool carp are up there with the cagiest of the cagey. They've been used to getting fished for right in the edge by some of the country's best anglers for a long time now, and that coupled with gin clear water conditions means these carp need to be fished for with a degree of respect. Given some thought obviously into what presentation I'm going to go in with first, and I'm going to go in with what I used on last season's programme. If any of you remember seeing the one we did at Little Horseshoe in South Cerney, it was a similar situation. We had clear water and the fish were coming in close and they were getting away with it left, right and centre, and the rig that I tweaked or devised to come up overcome them on that occasion is the rig that I'm going to go in with now. It's very simple, and we'll start at the bait end and I'll take you through what does what. The hook bait itself is a cut down piece of pop-up boilie, just enough so that it hovers above the hook. You want the hook to sit flat on the bottom with the bait just hovering above it. On the last programme I used a drilled out tiger nut, nuts are banned here, bit of pop-up, absolutely fine. The hook itself is a gravel coloured captor type hook. It's a wide gape, smallish, size 8, and in addition to it being gravel coloured, you can see that I've put some lengths of leg core over the top of it. I've taken the wire out and just threaded the outer sheath on, and that really does break up the outline of hook. you can't do too much, you know. You've got the colour advantage there and you've got some texture. The bait is whipped on knotless knot style, or KD style rather, with the hair coming out just by the eye, short hair, and then I've got a coated hook link, semi-stiff, maybe 3.5 inches, and I've stripped back about 10mm below the hook eye to give it flexibility. You'll see that I've got my standard benchmark piece of putty there, about 1 inch below the hook, just to keep that hook point pulling downwards when the bait goes into the mouth of the fish. Again, as I said, the rig is very, very short and it terminates in a size 11 ring swivel. And to that, you'll see I've got a very small piece of sleeving over the eye. Now that is designed so that it fits just inside the nose of the choice of lead, and comes out under very light pressure, creating a running rig. And it was that, combined with its lightness, that I think was fooling those little horseshoe carp. Subsequently used it on a few other waters, even at Raysbury as well, hooked fish on it there, so I know it works well, and I know it's something they're not quite used to dealing with. So I'm very confident in this now. The lead itself, very, very small, very light, 1.1 ounce flat inline pair. You know, it's really what the carp are used to. If I find this doesn't work, I'll go to the other end of the spectrum. I'll put in a 5 ounce lead. And getting outside those parameters of what the carp are used to dealing with is always an advantage. So here I'm going in with a 1.1 ounce lead. That's semi-fixed. Well, it's pretty much running, you know. It's very, very loose with that piece of tubing. Pulls out very easily. That runs away from the fish, giving them very, very little to shake or to use as any kind of pivot to get rid of the hook. You'll see that up the line, I've got just 20-pound sinking main line, very tough, dark brown colour, and I've got pieces of putty, tungsten putty, moulded up the line, just nipped on very lightly onto the line for a length of about 6 feet behind the lead. I've got tungsten tubing in my armoury. Lead core's not allowed here, but I can use tungsten tubing. I'm going to use that on my open water spots when I'm fishing down in deep silty water where visibility is not an issue. As I said earlier, we're fishing very, very clear gravel spots, and found in the past that the less you've got on your tackle, the less bits and pieces to clag it up, so to speak, then the less chance there is of the carp seeing it. So yeah, everything's erring on making it dainty, subtle and camouflaged. We'll go and put this in place and see if we can catch a carp on it.
Exciting stuff. That was so tense. I was just sat here and I was watching 3 or 4 fish coming in really regular. One of them was an absolute beast. It got to have been upper 20s, low 30s. It was a lovely fish, really clean fish. It was coming in and it come across the patch of bait a couple of times and it went right on the line. And I thought that's got to be very close. And then it come back round again with 2 or 3 others, and this little chap come in. It's not tiny, but a smaller fish came in, charged in like a little precocious teenager, went, "Oh, I'm having all of this!" And he dived on the bait, and I see it pick it up, shake his head, and away it went. He's certainly giving a good account of himself. But it's nice to see one of the real good ones in the edge as well. Very exciting. Certainly got my heart going. So that's the same sort of setup. We used a drop-off lead, 3.5 ounce flattened pair dropping off. And we've got a size 8 wide gape hook on there and some soft hook link. Just going so well. These blue pool fish fight so hard. They're just so full of spirit. So much, this water's such good quality, and they're just full of beans. They really, really go and go and go. They do not give up. It's great, great fun to catch them in the edge like this and really feel them at their full power. Oh, so nice. It's fantastic to come back here, having not fished it for 6, 7 years, to come back and to have a go at stalking it and have a couple of bites in a day. Just brilliant fun. I mean, what a fishery, what a place to come for a day's sport. It's great in this clear water to see them. Look at that coming up towards the net. That's absolutely excellent. Look at that, what a cracker. An absolutely beautiful blue pool carp. I am really pleased with that. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was, definitely an upper double. A beautiful fish in great condition. Very pleased with that. I think it's time to get this one back in the water and go and see how Adam's getting on.
Well, there's a couple of lovely mirror carp that Simon's caught. He really excels at this style of fishing, so I'm confident he's going to catch a few more, and with big fish about, there could be a whacker on the cards. I've been checking my spots going round, and I've come into this one and it's been absolutely turned over. There's a bit of a cloud, but the fish are gone. And that really reminded me of what the blue pool has always been like. The fish can come in big groups, they can eat a bit of bait very, very quickly, and then they're gone, and sometimes they won't come back unless there's more bait. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change my tactics very slightly, and on the couple of spots that I'm looking at, I'm going to put a rig in position first, and a bit of bait over the top, and then we'll see if we get a bite. If we don't get anything within an hour, I'll move and do the same again. That's the plan. Well, I certainly remember how the blue pool fish fight, and that's deep down in this gin clear water. They just bore away. Simon said earlier, he said the oxygen content in a blue pool must be unusually high, because from the very first time we came here, these fish have scrapped like absolute demons. Pound for pound, probably the hardest fighting fish we've ever caught. I had this fish just under the rod tip, nice deep margin. There's a clear spot against a bank of weed in about 12 foot of water, so I couldn't see the fish feeding, but I could see the bubbles coming up. I've kept this fish on quite a short line because there are huge beds of weed out in front of this swim. I didn't want him to get too far, so I was on the rod, and I got a very, very small inline lead which shouldn't clog up in the weed, hasn't done so far. The fish is just chugging around, oh, even on this tight clutch up and down under the rod tip. Really exciting stuff. Whoa. Feels fairly heavy, this fish. I've no idea how big it is, but there's a lot of ripped up weed, coming up to the surface where he's gone tearing off through it, making the spot even clearer in the process. So, oh yeah, he's coming up now. There he is. That's a little mirror. I think he's just about done. Another lovely dark fish. Come on, mate. Come on. Yes, come on. Brilliant. Blue pool magic. Well, there you go. That's what we came here for. They've got older and they've got bigger, and they've definitely got blacker. What a fish. Really, really pleased with this one. Caught it right in the edge. Albin and Simon have been fishing. The new tactic of putting some bait in with the rig and then seeing if they turned up has paid off almost instantly. I'm going to persevere with that because they're eating our bait when we're not looking, as they used to, and Simon reminded me. Crafty old carp, but the rig's paid dividends, worked perfectly. It got me a very quick bite, so I'm not going to be making any tweaks or changes to that just yet. Get this fella back. We're going to see if Simon and I can bag another one of these magical blue pool carp out of the edge.